5601, it'll be at with 5116 for a minute.
Yeah. Northport CSA 1. Just signal 14, holding a VIN verification when you clear.
26.
Smash bed 015, 1065 and 22 family.
51.
818 Gant Road, Cross Palmer. Caller roommate memorable. Subject staying on the caller's bedroom door. At 11, go ahead.
41 in Ortega, Florida 28, 917, Queen Zebra Robert, 917 UTR, and it's
10-4.
and 19 living, 1074. Dispatch.
4163.
Heading from Riverview 51 went to SMH with 1044.
Cover. Northport set 11.
Got
28 comes back to a red Hyundai. Is that 10-4?
Yeah,
10-4.
Florida, April 18, Frank, Robert John, just south of Macintosh Weber.
Macintosh Weber.
That's on 114, show me out set 11, please.
10-4. Northport 260, 1074.
10-4. CSA 1 Northport.
Go ahead.
Initial number of the bike to notes advice, please.
Dispatch 5116, 5601, 1074.
Have work. This AAA 51 dispatch, she wants some traffic protection.
Tower. Dispatch 5107, 1074.
Yes, sir.
10-4. Dispatch 5105 is signal 14 and advising the 1017 does have a shotgun in the van, not involved or mentioned.
46. Center Bravo, stand by.
.104 dispatch, I'll be clearing your ID 1094 5105.
Number 5104.
5106.
Northport 1, William 12, 1074. 6, are you continuing in? Northport 1, William 12, 1074.
1074. So I'm going to get another 94 unit, 1074 just routine.
Cover any unit in the area of McIntosh and Weber for 94 for 5107.
5110, ski region tunnel.
Number 5110.
4163 dispatch 1097 1033.
Number.
ID 876 dispatch.
ID 876.
I'm at Weber and Amanda. What's the location of that unit at Weber and McIntosh?
Somewhere around 1050, just south of Weber and McIntosh.
46. Motor 10, 10-4, 10-6.
Cover my 10.
SRO 11 Northport.
SRO 11.
There a unit in the area of Toledo Blade and Plantation. car 12. Be there in a minute.
So 11, car 12. Getting information that one of the students here jumped the fence and ran towards that gas station. Is there any way you can check that gas station?
Time for about 2 minutes out.
Copy, thank you.
Northport SRO 11, can you read a full A 22J?
Please, on 1074.
10-4. Dispatch 5505, 1074. 26. Dispatch 5105, units on Gant, 1074.
10-4, 10-6.
10-4. Northport 1 Edward 10.
One hour, 12 Northwest.
Go ahead.
If it's in reference to a call holding, we will be clearing her momentarily.
10-4, with the signal 12 called in at Price and Toledo. The truck is currently in the parking lot at Public.
10-4, definitely.
10-4. Northport set 11, 1074 still.
Yeah, boy.
Northport 1 Edward 13, 1074 still. Northport 1 Edward 13, 1074 still. Northport 1 Edward 14.
What?
Can you make 1025 with dispatch?
10-7.
Tower 876.
Dispatch.
4147.
Can you show myself on 4148, 10-8 from that 1071 call?
How far?
Traffic 15 on budget.
Traffic 15, go ahead.
Yeah, just gain an hour on Ford William 33 David. WW33D on a black Chevy Spur.
Ten four. One Edward 11, go ahead.
Two vehicle, description for that truck. I'm on foot in the parking lot.
Ten four.
Boo. Hi everybody, welcome to the first ever live stream on Totally Dacob. And the first topic of the first live stream had to be a countdown to Halloween, and we're talking nightmares, where everything seems familiar but slightly different, like a distant memory of something that we remember, but it's not really the same. It's slightly different. But maybe it's the same. Maybe I should turn on the camera because camera isn't recording. Well, hold on, you guys. Welcome, everybody. So, hey, Gary. Hey, CC Spy. Hey, Jack. Hey, C. Lala. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Robert. Hey, Nicole. Hey, everybody. Well, first and foremost, this is a brand new channel, so obviously subscribe, show the love, but also this is the first live stream, so this is the first live chat, so we don't have any mods. So my first question is, Debbie, you want to join the mod squad? I saw Audrey's going to the bathroom to take a shower. So, Jack, make sure the hair doesn't get caught on fire. Nah. Don't you know it? We have an old friend with us today for the nightmare talk. Did you brush your teeth? You did, huh? So, am I too dark? Can you see me? Should I lighten up the mood? Okay, Debbie, wait, hold on, let me activate you. Debbie, activated. Oh, wait, I can't activate you. Hold on. I can only block you. Hold on, I have to go to my channel, I think. Hey, Jizzes. Hey, Victoria H. Hey, Audrey. So, I'm working on it. I have to figure out, because I didn't connect the Streamlabs. Oh, you know what? I don't think I can have mods, you guys, because the channel is not monetized yet. YouTube doesn't allow us to have mods. We're not worthy because we're not monetized yet here on this channel. But anyway, we have a great show for you talking about nightmares today. And so as soon as we do get monetized, the mods shall be activated. So hey, Rich Mitch. Hey, Ollie. How's it going? Hey, Edu. So, No, not too dark for a Halloween stream. Good, Silala, thanks. Okay, so this is the deal. We're going to be talking Nightmare, and there's a lot to cover. Also, obviously, for those of you who remember me blonde, it's all slightly off. We are in a sort of a liminal space right now. That's what the intro was all about while you were waiting for the appearance of the spirit. If you wish to tip or donate, just type in tip or donate. Bubbles will, in fact, send you the link. Even though we're not monetized, tips are still possible and doable. Actually, just got to type in donate or tip. So it's the same system as on the main channel, except there are no super chats here because we're not monetized. We need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours to monetize this channel. We can test Bubbles, the spirit Bubbles, the bot here in the chats. Let's see how that works. Hold on. So somebody just type in tip or donate. You don't have to tip or donate. Just type it in. I just want to see if Bubbles is going to react. Thank you, Nicole. The waiting room was everything. Very modern take on nightmares, right? Very 2021. Hey, Jack. Yes, Gary. Our tongues are sharper than any axe or sword. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay, so Oli Soto typed donate. Let's see if Bubbles is going to react, because Bubbles might not be ready to react just yet. Oh, there she is. All right, Bubbles is alive. This is the first Bubbles reaction we have, you guys. We have resuscitated Bubbles. Bubbles is the mummy for the Halloween countdown. Now, let me put these candles down before... Let me turn them off. Oh, I can't put them down. It's too far. Let me try this side. Ooh, you guys. Oh, Ollie. Oh, you didn't have to. Thank you so much, but you didn't have to. This was just to do a test. Hold on, let me turn off the air conditioning. The messy hair. I'm loving this moment. Okay. You can also get your, obviously, your Halloween Super Dacob merch, but nightmares. Now, we're going to be talking nightmares. What is a nightmare? I have a little bit of something to read to you. Now, of course, as you saw the promotional images for this live stream, we saw Freddy Krueger. Ah, thank you so much. Freddy says thank you. Thank you so much to the donation. Actually, I should have had like lava confetti falling for the Halloween stream. I might change that for the next time. But thank you so much, Ollie. You are the first donator ever on Totally Dacob. Can I just say, clap for that? The first time ever. Yay! First donation ever on the Totally Dacob channel. Freddie says thank you. Thank you. You guys, hold on. Rich Mitch wants top hours. We just began with the points on the hours. They do exist here as well. As you can see, the Bubbles, the ghost. This is the ghost of Bubbles. The ghost of Bubbles just posted the points that you got here, guys. Yay! All right, now listen. What is a nightmare? We all think, you know, we wake up in the morning or in the middle of the night and it's all sweaty and we're going through something and we have a moment and we got a nightmare. We remember it, and usually those nightmares kind of fade as we go back to sleep, and then when we wake up again, or by the time a couple of hours have passed, usually we tend to have completely forgotten what we dreamt. We remember the mood, we remember the pain, we remember the agony, but we don't quite remember what it was. So for that occasion, I keep always a little notebook next to my bed or my iPad if it has batteries, if it's charged, and I record. I kind of record myself an audio message describing my dream so that I don't forget it. Or if I'm awake, I can write it even down on the notebook, on the notepad. Usually my voice is then when I hear myself the next day when I wake up, I'm like, oh my gosh, who was that person? It was me. Gary says, I went to buy a blanket and I can't find them on the site. This one, the Fashion Bunker blanket, is on www.superdacob.com on Teespring, or they just renamed it Spring, and that's where you find the blanket. Let me see. I'm scrolling through. I see it. Oh no, that's a poster. Hold on. No, I see the blanket. Super Dacob 2021 Halloween edition print fleece blanket. It is in the store. I'm seeing it now. It's there, Gary. You just got to go directly to the website. www.superdacob.com and get your Halloween merch. Get your Halloween merch. So, we forget our dreams, whether they be nightmares or not, but the nightmares are what interests us the most. So the 6th row from the top down in the shop is the blanket. The blanket is in the 6th row down. That's how it appears to me. It might appear slightly different to you, also depending how big your screen is, but yeah. I also, you know what? I have it's a little bit of a, Andy Warhol meets Norman Bates' mother, Norma. This is Norma Bates meets Pamela Voorhees, Jason Voorhees' mother, meets Dacob from a couple of years ago. I'm dead, and yet I'm alive in your dreams. Now, listen. What's a dream? Here we get a Google search. Quick Google search tells us that a dream is a series of thoughts, images, and sensations occurring in a person's mind during sleep. You can also, the first thing that they state is like this most recurrent repetition of a sentence, meaning, I had a recurrent dream about falling from great heights. It is a typical one, although I don't really dream of falling. If I dream of some sort of falling, it's mostly like fall and then fly on. But dreams are a universal human experience. I love the fact that they say it's universal because we all share the similar dreams or the same dreams. I believe when we fall asleep, we kind of connect and we travel. And the universal human experience can be described as a state of consciousness characterized by sensory, cognitive, and emotional occurrences. A succession of images, ideas, emotions, and sensations that usually occur involuntarily. Thank you for subscribing. We're loving it. A little bit of Jamie Lee Curtis and 2018 Halloween. You know we love our Michael Myers. Mrs. Blue, Dacob, the Amazon links in the description don't work. Mrs. Blue, it's not Amazon in every country. Depends what country you're in. Let me click on it. No, it works for me. When I click on the link in the description box under the live stream right now, it works when I click on the link. Wait a minute. It says, amazon.co.uk says we're sorry. An error happened. Okay, so if you're in the UK, there's something wrong with Amazon. We're working on the problem and expect to resolve it shortly, says amazon.co.uk, but amazon.com is still active and working. So it all kind of depends on what country you're in. Amazon is playing tricks on us. Amazon.co.uk at least is. But what's a nightmare? A nightmare is a frightening or unpleasant dream. Is it though? A nightmare is a disturbing dream. I didn't see anything pop up here. That's so bizarre. A nightmare is a disturbing dream associated with negative feelings such as anxiety or fear that awakens you. Nightmares are common in children, but can happen at any age. Occasional nightmares usually are nothing to worry about. Or are they? A nightmare is also called a bad dream. There is, however, a diseased version of a nightmare, which is a terror dream. Terror dreams usually need to be dealt with in a medical way. The terror dream is something that does not pass, it does not go away, and it torments you nonstop. Also very fascinating, the reason for a terror dream could also be, if you are a little bit superstitious, the mare. The mare is a demon that might be haunting you and your soul on a daily and night basis. But we're going to get to the mare. A nightmare is called a bad dream. It's an unpleasant dream that can cause a strong emotional response from the mind, typically fear, but also despair. Gary says, I still can't find... Okay, Gary, you can't find the blanket? All right, let me post the link, the direct link for... Hold on. Okay. Do you see it now? Try to use that link. Super Dacob posted the link. Does it work now? If you click directly on the link to the blanket? So the sooner we get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, we can monetize Totally Dacob. Super excited about it. Can't wait to do that. And, you know, we're doing the Halloween live streams here. Of course, stay tuned for next week's live stream. It's going to have a totally different topic. We begin with nightmares. Why do we begin with nightmares? Because we have to fall asleep and go through the death dreamland to access the realm of the dead, because that's what Halloween is all about. So we're beginning the live streams by entering the realm of the dead through our dreams. And then we're going to progress. We're going to get closer and closer to the dead as Halloween comes nearer and approacheth. A nightmare, also called a bad dream, is an unpleasant dream that can cause a strong emotional response from the mind, typically fear, but also despair, anxiety, or great sadness. However, psychological nomenclature differentiates between nightmares and bad dreams. Specifically, people remain asleep during bad dreams, whereas nightmares can awaken individuals. The dream may contain situations of discomfort, psychological or physical terror, or panic. After a nightmare, a person will often awaken in a state of distress and may be unable to return to sleep from a short period of time, or for a short period of time. Recurrent nightmares may require medical help, as they can interfere with sleeping patterns and cause insomnia. Nightmares can have physical causes, such as sleeping in an uncomfortable position or having a fever. Or, having a fever, or psychological causes such as stress or anxiety. Eating before going to sleep, which triggers an increase in the body's metabolism and brain activity, can be potential stimulus for nightmares. The prevalence of nightmares in children, 5 to 12 years old, is between 20 and 30%. Kids have more nightmares than grown-ups. And in adults, it is between 8 and 30%. So, in common language, the meaning of nightmare has extended as a metaphor to many bad things, such as a bad situation or a scary monster or person. Now, Debbie says, yes, Super Dacob was blocked. Totally Dacob has to post. It's still not come through. Think chat's delayed. What, Gary? You... Oh, Super Dacob is blocked? You don't see Super Dacob? No, Super Dacob can't be blocked. You don't see the Super... I'm going to post this Totally Dacob. Oh, it didn't go through because Super Dacob cannot post a link. Okay, hold on. Cha. I don't see it. Where is it now? Okay, there it is. Do you see it now, you guys? There we go, says Debbie. All right, you see it now. Okay, you see the link. There it is. Good, good, good. That's the link for the blanket in the www.superdacob.com merch store. Jesus asks, are you guys ever fully aware that you're dreaming? Yes. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. When I'm not, then I wake up not remembering what I dreamt. When I am aware that I'm dreaming, I kind of suffer in the nightmare, during the nightmare, because I know that I could wake up, but I can't wake up. But because I have the consciousness that I can wake up, means automatically that I know that I'm dreaming while I'm dreaming. Okay, now I can add moderators. Hold on, you guys. Everything is shifting here. Sorry. Now I can, since Bubbles has been resuscitated, since Bubbles has appeared as a spirit, it's giving me a notification that I can add moderators. So, Debbie, you are our first mod on Totally Dacob. Is Debbie a mod now? I don't know. Jack says, that's astral projection. My brain is... Oh, we're going to be talking about a lot of things. Robert says, Gary, that's what I said. The blanket you are talking about is just an XXXL t-shirt. Yeah, Debbie is a mod. Debbie got her wrench. Debbie got her ghost wrench. Jack, would you like to be our number 2 mod? Just like the same order you were added as mods back in the day on the main channel. And then, of course, there's Gary and Audrey. I'm waiting. Well, let me know. I'm going to keep dreaming. I'm going to keep dreaming the text. The etymology. Now we're going to get to the etymology of nightmares. Debbie's going to kill us. I shall do it. All right, my warlock. Here we go. Our second mod du jour is Jack, darling. Of course. Fabulosity. There you go. Now, Jack, your wrench will appear momentarily. Oh, Audrey says, I shall do it. Okay. Audrey, we are adding your wrench as well, the ghost wrenches. We are in the trenches adding the ghost wrenches. By the power of the spirit of Bubbles, I proclaim you, Debbie, you, Jack, and you, Audrey, mods. Gary also. Okay, Gary says, but of course. All right, Gary, by the power invested in the spirit of Bubbles, you shall be a mod. All right, let me add Gary. And Gary, your wrench hath arriveth. Fabulosity. All right. Now we got the mods. Now, don't go rogue on me. Well, will ya? Huh? Audrey? Audrey, how's your tablet doing today? Spirit of Bubbles. Robert says, is that a head or Skeletor? No, that would be yellow. No, this is not Skeletor. This is the spirit of Bubbles. Now, the etymology. We're getting to interesting stuff. The word nightmare is derived from the Old English mare. And I am going to, Jack says, the power of 3 you shall be. Let me fade in here. And let me also shift to the side. You guys, here we have a very particular particular painting from 1781, okay, by Henry, what's his name? What's the dude's name? Henry Fuseli. The mare that haunts the dreams. It's a demon. Not to be confused with the female horse, which is a mare. But may be interesting that the mare, which is the demon that sits on the chest of our victim, rides a horse, a dead demonic horse with white eyes, as you can see. The mare arrived on a horse, so maybe that's why the female horse is called the mare, because it is the horse of the mare. But then why would a female horse be associated with nightmares? We do not know. But this is just one example of a mare that haunts your dreams. This is also one of the reasons why I have white hair today. Because, you know, when you have nightmares, it is known that sometimes people, from the fear and the desperation that they go through and the stress, they wake up with white hair. They go to bed with pigmented hair, any color they have, and they wake up in the morning with white hair. We have a great example of it happening in a very supernatural way in Twin Peaks, when Leland Palmer, Laura Palmer's father, goes white overnight. A little rhyme. So this is another one of the reasons why I'm wearing this white hair. It turned white on me. Do you know what I mean? So, the word nightmare is derived from the Old English mare, a mythological demon or goblin it's looking at you, possessing you already, who torments others with frightening dreams. The term has no connection with the modern English word for a female horse. The word nightmare is cognate with the Dutch term Nachtmerrie and the German Nachtmar. The sorcerous demons of Iranian mythology, known as Dievs, are likewise associated with the ability to afflict their victims with nightmares. Signs and symptoms. Those with nightmares experience abnormal sleep architecture. The impact of having a nightmare during the night has been found to be very similar to that of insomnia. This is thought to be caused by frequent nocturnal awakenings and fear of falling asleep. Nightmare disorder symptoms include repeated awakenings from the major sleep period or naps, with detailed recall of extended and extremely frightening dreams, usually involving threats to survival, security, or self-esteem. The awakenings generally occur during the second half of the sleep period. There's also a classification. According to the International Classification of Sleep Disorders, the third edition, the nightmare disorder, together with REM, sleep behavior disorder, RBD, and recurrent isolated sleep paralysis. From the REM, it's rapid eye movement, you know, when you kind of just about to fall asleep, you go into the REM state. Yes, that's why REM called themselves REM, the band. Michael Stipe, you hot son of a gun. Anyway, I digress. And recurrent isolated sleep paralysis so form the REM-related parasomnias subcategory of the parasomnias cluster. Nightmares may be idiopathic without any signs of psychopathology or associated with disorders like stress, anxiety, substance abuse, psychiatric illness, or PTSD. More than 80% of PTSD patients report nightmares. Well, they are also weaker in spirit if we're going to think about it as a demonic possession. Conspiracy theory? Of course, that's why we're here. And from FOMO, my pop socket that you can get fear of missing out, we could also make a FOFA, fear of falling asleep. So I should make another pop socket to attach right here next to this one called FOFA. As regarding the dream content of the dreams, they are usually imprinting negative emotions like sadness, fear, or rage. According to the clinical studies, the content can include being chased, injury or death of others, falling, natural disasters or accidents. Typical dreams or recurrent dreams may also have some of these topics. Now, I'm interested in this little creature here because we are counting down to Halloween, and what is the mare, really? Why do so many I'm just showing you one example that we can show. But there are many different examples of the mare, and many different artists throughout the centuries have portrayed the mare in many different ways. This one is perhaps the least scary one for our standards today, because I do believe that the true mares of today don't really have a shape or form. They're invisible, and that's why they're so scary. I think the scariest things in our dreams are the things we do not see, but we feel, and we fear what we cannot see. And I think the true form of the mare is an invisible energy. It's a source of some sort of energy, highly negative, that affects your nerves and your memory. And it affects your soul, making it kind of evade the body and travel through time and space, which is why we have dreams, I believe. When we sleep and when we dream, our soul exits the body and goes on journeys through time and space. Another theory, you don't have to believe it, but to each their own, right? But listen to this. A mare. Oh, hold on. Robert says, that is one of the trolls that frequent your channel. Oh, this one? Yeah. The Fashion Bunker trolls. CC Spy says, hey Laura, the mare is the black collective shadow. It looks like a gargoyle, says Gary. It does have a gargoyle-ish vibe to it. Jesus says, the more I look at him, the cuter he looks. It's a she. Well, it's a them there, I guess. Nicole says, Jack says, FOBP, fear of being possessed. Nicole says, haha, you're hilarious. Nightmare so scary you get night poops, says Mrs. Blue. And of course, Freddy Krueger, Wes Craven's Freddy Krueger, is nothing but a modern day, for the 80s standards, Freddy Krueger is a mare. Not by accident did they make his face all burnt up and demonic, like he came back from hell to haunt the teenagers of all of those parents who had burned him alive. But his physiognomy represented, back in the 80s when he was created, this aesthetic was representative and indicative of fear of nightmares in the 80s. So it's a pop cultural phenomenon, Freddy Krueger, but in reality, he is the modern or the 80s version of this demon right there. Nothing more, nothing less. With a little bit more history added to him. He's not mythological anymore. He's a real living person that was burned alive, and then he comes back to haunt the dreams of the kids of the people who burned him. While this mare here has more a deep-rooted mythological meaning that we cannot really grasp because, and this is so fascinating to me, the sociological aspect of and cultural aspect of this demonic creature is so fascinating because kind of it almost appears simultaneously all across the world. Now, obviously, in those countries and cultures where writing became available, people started writing sooner in other populations and other cultures later. But wherever there is some sort of script form of depiction of these dreams or states or whatever, oh, child, this wig, the mare exists everywhere, all across the world. And we're not talking That's back in the day when they barely could travel from one village to the other because they didn't even have the horsepower to do so. Forget about internet, telephones, and television. And still, even though they were continents apart, and even though they didn't even know that certain continents existed, all across the globe, all of these cultures individually, in their own right and in their own time, came to the same conclusion of the existence of a mare. Even the terminology used to describe the mare is very similar from country to country. European countries use similar definitions for the mare, but also outside of Europe, the names are quite similar. So we're going to get to, which kind of proves to me that we, and I always say this, we're all connected. We're all connected. Everything is holistic. Everything happens for a reason, but everything is connected. So somebody having a dream right here, right now, might be connected to somebody having a dream all across the globe somewhere else. Or who's to say it's only limited to this planet? Who's to say it's only limited to this dimension? Who's to say it's only limited to this time and this space? And I'm going to come to the part of this live stream where I talk about, where I share with you some of my nightmares, which are the scariest part of this whole live stream, but we're going to get to it. Ollie says, the scariest thing, a scream you can see, but you can't hear. Yeah, that is scary. That's why Munch's scream, you know, the painting, it's a scream that you can't hear, but you see it, and it's so haunting. That's why it's such a popular painting as well. Hey, Sidonie, glad you made it to the live stream. Yes, the chupacabra, Oli Soto. Yeah, chupacabra is also a mare. The education of it all, says Victoria, right? Debbie says Freddy. Yes, Freddy is a mare. Freddy Krueger is a mare. Definitely. Definitely. He's an 80s version of the mare. Victoria says, wow, kind of scary, weird, crazy. Yes, that we're all connected and that the dreams are connected as well. A mare, an Old English mare, which is depicted here in this painting, sitting on top of the chest of the sleeping victim, believed to derive from Slavic. Could you imagine? Of course, all the most disgusting things come from the Balkans. So the Proto-Slavic Mara. Mara in Old High German or Old Norse and in Swedish is a malicious entity in Germanic and Slavic folklore that rides on people's chests while they sleep, bringing on nightmares. So the mare rides you while you sleep on your chest, taking your breath away, pumping, giving weight and heft, so the heart needs to beat in a different way as well. The word mare comes through Middle English mare, from Old English feminine noun maere, which had numerous variant forms, including mare, mere, and maer, which is pronounced mare. These, in turn, come from Proto-Germanic maron. Maron is the source of Old Norse, meaning Mara, from which are derived Swedish, Mara, Icelandic, Mara. I had to pronounce it like Bjork. You know, Bjork would pronounce it Mara. Faroese Mara, Danish Mare, Norwegian Mare or Mara, Dutch would be Nachtmeri, and German Nachtmar. So Nachtmar, see how then in, I guess it was Yiddishized, and then in America or in modern day English, American English, this old Germanic Nachtmar became nightmare. They're very similar. Obviously, it's the evolution, it's the etymology of the word. Jesus says, Ayamara Grazia Curie. Yeah, no, that's Maria Grazia Curie. Yeah, she's the nightmare of Dior. Yes. That image is exactly what sleep paralysis feels like, says Sidonicera. Like someone kneeling on your chest and you can't move. Yeah, that's a demonic possession. KDF, how you doing, sweetie? Good Icelandish. I said the same, Sidoni. Sleep paralysis is so scary, and I bet some of the folklore reflects some unexplained medical experiences. Oh, for sure. For sure. You know, we're losing touch with the, you know, I love Halloween because it allows the period of Halloween. It's not just about dressing up, wearing funny masks and going out and getting drunk. To me, it's really connecting to spirituality. It is connecting to our roots because we're losing touch with our roots. That's why I'm trying to do this, sitting down with you guys and reading this, just a bit of history, so that we kind of at least psychologically reconnect to our heritage, to our past, from our great ancestors, because they knew stuff we don't know anymore. We have unlearned. We think medicine can cure everything. Modern day medicine can't cure everything because it's a different system of belief. Science is different from spirituality. Sometimes they can connect and intersect, but a lot of times they're just like two different worlds. And it's usually science that doesn't want to have anything to do with spirituality, but spirituality is a little bit more open to science. So the vice versa, which shows us, what does it show us? It shows us that spirituality is actually kind of emotionally better than science because it's a little bit more open-minded. Funny how science has to be the most open-minded in order to develop new sciences and forms of medication and technology. You need to be open-minded and have ideas, but at the same time, it's very strict in its belief form. And while I do not deny science, we're talking about a lot of things here like vaccinations and viruses. I'm fully vaccinated, totally believe in it. Not debating it at all. What I'm saying is science can only take us so far as of now. But there's something else that was there before we had science. There was something that was there before we had the evolution of medicine, the evolution of technology. There was something there before that still allowed us to live, to procreate, to survive, to heal in case there were issues. And it wasn't all just about superstition and believing that if you throw some sage in the air, you're going to expel the bad spirits from your body, you're going to get better again. I mean, there's way more to that. There's way more than hocus pocus to spirituality. Way more. And when I talk spirituality, I am not talking church. Let's just be very clear about it. It's nothing to do with religion. Spirituality and religion, two different things. They can sometimes coexist, but I ain't talking about religion. I'm talking about spirituality. Just to be very clear. Right. So the mar in French, the cauchemar, which means nightmare in French, is borrowed from the Germanic through Old French mare. Most scholars trace the word back to the reconstructed Proto-Indo-European root mer, associated with crushing, pressing, and oppressing. Again, we have this vision of something sitting on your chest while you're sleeping. Or according to other sources, to rub away or to harm. However, other etymologies have been suggested. For example, Eva Pox saw the term as being cognate with the Greek Indo-European moros, meaning doom. There's no definite answer among scientists about the time of origin of the word. According to the philologist Eleazar Meletinsky, the Proto-Slavonic root Mara passed into the Germanic language no later than the 1st century before Christ. You guys, we're going back in time. In Norwegian and Danish, the words for nightmare are mareritt and mareridt, respectively, which can be directly translated as mare ride. The Icelandic word martru has the same meaning, tra, from the verb trada, means trample, stamp on, related to tread. Whereas the Swedish mardröm translates as mare dream. The beliefs connected to nightmares. The mare was believed to ride horses. We got a horse. You see the horse hiding in the back with the white, dead eyes? The mare was believed to ride horses, which left them exhausted and covered in sweat by the morning. She could also entangle the hair. So the mare is a female demon. And this is so true. No matter how, I have really long hair now, no matter how much I tie it in a knot, I put it together, I do my braids, I do everything to protect the hair. This is what happens to me. Every time I have a nightmare, I wake up with knots and tangled knots of hair. And let me tell you, she could entangle the hair of the sleeping man or beast, resulting in mare locks made by the mare, called merefletor or mare braids or martovor, mare tangles in Swedish, or marefletter and mareflockler in Norwegian. The belief probably originated as an explanation to the Polish plate phenomenon, which was a hair disease, the Polish plate. Even trees were thought to be ridden by the mare, because even trees can sleep, resulting in branches being entangled. The undersized, twisted pine trees growing on coastal rocks and on wet grounds are known in Sweden as Martalar, the mare pines, or in German as Albtraumkiefer, the nightmare pine. Yes, the mare is a hairstylist. This is the first hairstylist ever created. According to Paul Devereux, mares included witches who took on the form of animals when their spirits went out and about while they were in trance. See the Icelandic example of Geirid below, which is written here. These included animals such as frogs, cats, horses, hares, dogs, oxen, birds, and often bees and wasps. In Scandinavia, the mare is attested as early as in the Norse Ynglinga saga from the 13th century. Here King Vanlandi Sveigoisson of Uppsala lost his life, to a nightmare, Mara, conjured by the Finnish sorceress Hulda, hired by the king's abandoned wife, Drifa. So Drifa was like, bitch, you abandoned me, you left me for another chick. They sang going down. So this was kind of old school voodoo. A mare was concocted and killed the king. Uppsala. Hence the word Uppsala comes from there, I guess. The king had broken his promise to return within 3 years, and after 10 years had elapsed, the wife engaged the sorceress. Has elapsed. And after 10 years had elapsed, the wife engaged the sorceress to either lure the king back to her, or, failing that, to assassinate him. Vanlandi had scarcely gone to sleep when he complained that the nightmare rode him. When the men held the king's head, it trod on his legs on the point of breaking, and when the retinue then seized his feet, the creature fatally pressed down on his head. In Sami mythology, there is an evil elf called Deatan, who transforms into bird or other animal and sits on the breasts of sleeping people, giving nightmares. According to the Vatnsdæla saga, Thorkel Silver, or also called Thorkel Silfri, has a dream about riding a red horse that barely touched the ground, which he interpreted as a positive omen, but his wife disagreed, explaining that a mare signified a man's fetch, and that the red color boded bloodiness. This association of the nightmare with fetch is thought to be of late origin, an interpolation in the text dating to circa 1300, with the text exhibiting a confounding of the words mar and mara. And here we have the mare again. Another possible example is the account in the Erbija saga of the sorceress Geirid, accused of assuming the shape of a night rider, or ride by night, Marleonder or Kveldrida, and causing serious trampling bruises on Gunlaug, Trabio, oh my god, it's like Betty White, Rose, it's like Rose Nyland reading words. It's like the case of Gundlaug Trabjornsson. The Marlidender mentioned here has been equated to the Mara by commentators. As in English, the name appears in the word for nightmare in the Nordic languages. Example, the Swedish word mardrum, literally meaning Mara dream, the Norwegian word marerit, and the Danish marerid, both meaning mare ride, or the Icelandic word martre, meaning Mara dreaming repeatedly. Germany. In Germany, they were known as Mara, Mar, or Mare. German folklorist Franz Felix Albrecht Kuhn records a Westphalian charm or prayer used to ward off mares from Wilhelmsburg near Paderborn. The text is translated saying, "Here I am, lying down to sleep. No nightmare shall plague me, until they have swum through all the waters that flow upon the earth, and counted all stars that appear in the firmament. Thus help me God, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Amen." Such charms are preceded by the example of the Münchner Nachtsegen of the 14th century. Its texts demonstrates that certainly by the late Middle Ages, the distinction between the mare, the Alp, and the Trut, the Druid, was being blurred, the mare being described as the Alp's mother. In Slavic belief, Poland, etymologically, Polish zmora, Mara, is connected to Mara or Marzanna, a demon goddess of winter. It could be a soul of a person, alive or dead, such as a sinful woman, someone wronged, or someone who died without confession. Other signs of someone being a mare could be being the seventh daughter, having one's name pronounced in a wrong way while being baptized, having multicolored eyes or a unibrow. The unibrow. Oh, the good old unibrow. Exclusive to Kalisz region in Poland, if a woman was promised to marry a man, but then he married another, the rejected woman could also become a mare during the nights. A very common belief was that one would become a mare if they mispronounced a prayer. Example, Zmoras Mario instead of Zdrovas Mario, an inverted version of Hail Mary. The mare can turn into animals and objects, such as cats, frogs, yarn, straw, or apples. People believed that the mare drained people, as well as cattle and horses, of energy and or blood at night. A vampiric force, a vampire of sorts. Protection practices against mares included drinking coffee before sleeping, taking the mare's hat. How would you do that? Throwing a piece of a noose at the demon, sleeping with a leather wedding belt or a scythe, inviting the mare for breakfast, changing one's sleeping position, smearing feces on the front door. That one's easy. Leaving a bundle of hay in one's bed and going to sleep in another room. To protect livestock, some people hung mirrors over the manger to scare the mare with its own face. Or a little bit like the myth of the Medusa, isn't it? Or affixed dead birds of prey to the stable doors. Sometimes the horses were given red ribbons or covered in a stinking substance. In other beliefs, a Czech mura denotes a kind of elf or spirit, as well as a sphinx moth or night butterfly. Other Slavic languages with cognates that have the double meaning of moth are Kashubian mora and the Slovak mora. In the Northwest and South Russian traditions, the Mara is a female character similar to Kikimora, usually invisible. Remember I was talking about the real fear is when something is invisible? The Russians know it best. Here you go. Usually invisible, it can take the form of a black woman with long, shaggy hair. Remember the ring? This is also very profused in Japanese culture as well. Black woman with long, shaggy hair, which she combs, sitting on a yarn. Literally me. Every time I comb myself, I get a whole other chunk of hair, little ball of hair that we proclaimed rich lady molds. Some believe that a mora enters the room through the keyhole, sits on the chest of the sleeper, and tries to strangle them. Hence the word moriti, to torture, to bother, or moriti, to torture, to bother, to strangle. Umoriti, to tire, to kill. Umor, tiredness, and umoran, tired. To repel moras, children are advised to look at the window or to turn the pillow and make the sign of the cross on it. In the early 19th century, Vuk Karadzic mentions that people would repel moras by leaving a broom upside down behind their doors or putting their belt on top of their sheets or saying an elaborate prayer poem before they go to sleep. But sooner or later, we all fall asleep. And when we fall asleep, we lose control. All of the precautionary actions that we might take before we fall asleep, of putting gidgets and giblets around the room, tokens, amulets, saying prayers, rituals, what have you, all of that is gone. And we have no power over controlling it once we fall asleep because we lose control. And this is where we enter the realm of dreams, and in particular nightmares, because that's what we like to talk about here in this live stream as we're counting down to Halloween. The first demon we encounter on our way towards Halloween is the mare. We need to deal with the mare if we are to pass further on and go on towards the axis of the realm of the dead, where we want to go to, not because we want to kick the bucket, but because that's what Halloween is all about. It's about connecting with the dead. You need to the mare is some sort of almost like a guardian. It's a guardian at the portals of the dead. It tortures you because, I believe, it detracts attention from the actual goal, which is passing through that door and seeing beyond. So how can you sleep, have a nightmare, while at the same time evading the mare and going further? Going beyond the mare, beyond the nightmare. So I believe that there is something to be said about star children and the star seed. Now, you can look that up. That is a whole other topic for another day. But there's this whole belief of beyond the zodiac, of the 12 zodiac signs that we have, there's also something called the star seed or the star child. Many ways to see if you are a star seed or star child. Like, for example, waking up and from your sleep and noticing that you have weird cuts or bruises on your body that you just possibly could not have gotten in your sleep in your bed. It's about travel. It's about time travel. It's about exiting your own body and going through dimensions and space when you're sleeping. It's about being elusive to the mare, but nonetheless, still potentially having terrible experiences while you are on that trip. And then when your soul comes back into its body the next morning or whenever you wake up, a certain fading or faded, sometimes maybe even vivid memory of that dream or of that trip is still present in your mind. And here we get to the portion of the live stream where I tell you a couple of my dreams. But let me read a couple of your comments first. Makes me think of dream catchers. Victoria, that's a very good one. Dream catchers, very popular in many cultures, really. Not just Native American, but also other cultures. Protection. It's also a protection spell, kind of. The mare is the guardian at the river Styx, says the CC Spy. It is a guardian, in fact. Not just to be seen as somebody who wants to torture you. Hold on. Turn up this thing. Not somebody who was just seen to torture you. Doesn't want to stop. Okay. But also somebody who protects. Now, Letty, how you doing, sweetie? Nightmare is pesadilla in Spanish, which means await. I guess has to do with that mare sitting on the chest, taking one's breath away. Yeah, it's all connected. It's all connected. Good point, Gary. Are we all the mare? Collectively, we are. We are all connected. Yeah, I turned on XFan, but it's going to turn off on its own, I think. Okay, so it's not loud anymore as it was before. It was a bit irritating me, the air conditioning, you guys. So I didn't dream, but I do wake up with strange bruises quite often, says Tyler. Yeah, that's typical for a star seed. Now, before I get to the most excruciating dream I have ever had in my life, and it just happened last week, I'm going to go on a little journey with you. Hey, Just Yapping, welcome. Yes, welcome, you made it. Good. So happy you made it to the first live stream. Totally Dacob. The CC Spy says, the mare gives you a riddle and might let you through the nightmare as a path to self-discovery. Holy shit, something just happened. Oh, I think the window just opened up. All right. Turned off. Okay. So, a couple of years ago, and this one I can explain, but we're getting to the scary part, the real scary part of this live stream. Story time. I felt okay. So let me take the mare away, you guys, because you're gonna be scared enough. I was about to leave a certain job and certain people behind that were not good for me. Making the decision of stopping that type of collaboration or working with that group of people caused certain thoughts and stress. one night, I dreamt that I was in a lake. Usually, I'm very afraid of water when I dream. It's always very scary to me. And usually, it's the ocean that I'm in. You know, it's water without bottom. I'm in the water. I look down, and it's just a black hole. It is terrifying. But this time, I was in a lake, so it wasn't that deep, and it was a very still lake, and I could see the shore all around me. You know, I wasn't lost in the middle of nowhere. And it was a lake where I could touch the bottom of it. It was a very shallow lake. But I felt this anguish on my chest. But the chest that I felt, the anguish was not really on my chest. It was inside of me. And I'm in this still water, which you could say almost resembled a swamp at a certain point because it wasn't moving. It wasn't fresh water. It was still water. I just felt this, something inside of me was from the chest kind of going up to my neck. And so what I did was I kind of, in this dream that I had, I kind of had to lift up my head, and I put my hand inside of my mouth, and I grabbed something, and I started pulling it out, and it was a head of a snake. And I kind of let it go because it was moving. So my hands are off my head, and my head is upwards, and I have this huge snake head. But it kind of, it's like an eel more than a snake. It you know, it didn't have the consistency of scales of a snake. It was just a disgusting, dirty thing that just kind of kept coming out of my mouth and going and going. And it was huge. And it was endless. And at one point, also with my muscles internally, I managed to kind of push it out, and the whole thing just kind of fell out. And I felt so empty, liberated, but it was a parasitic entity that was sucking at my energy, but it was also symbiotic in a way. So it felt at first like I was drained of all my energy, like I was so empty. But relatively soon after that, I realized, oh, this is good that this is gone. Now I can fill myself up with my energy, not with that creature that was growing inside of me, eating up my energy. So the energy that I was producing was inside of me, but contained within that creature. It wasn't my energy to use. Shortly after that nightmare, I started planning creating a YouTube channel. Because shortly after that nightmare, I was done with that other entity that I was working with. It was scary AF. I'll never forget that dream. Never. And totally Dacob glass. Plug it in. So the CC Spy says, I dream a lot about water. Usually I need to cross it or swim across, and then I get somewhere where I meet people. These are the dreams when I travel. That is great because you actually get there. It doesn't happen to me when I dream about water. The other dream I'm going to tell you now. Victoria says, that was awesome. I definitely think you were releasing garbage. I think so too. But in the dream, and I was aware that I was dreaming, right? I oftentimes, to answer your questions at the beginning of the live stream, like, oh, do you know that you're dreaming? I knew then. And oftentimes when I dream, it's like a movie playing out for me. I see myself in a movie scene, but I am the director, so I'm also the cinematographer. I am behind the camera, so I visualize the whole scenario and me in that scenario. So it's a double me. It's like my soul exits my body and my body is still floating there looking at my soul. That's what my dreams are usually, how they happen. Usually. We're going to get to the unusual soon. The next dream. Oh, this one is terrifying. 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 Again, my fear of water. So I am in water. This time it's the ocean. And I am inside of, I'm not laying like flat, I'm not floating on top of it, I'm just inside of it, only my head is poking out, right? And all around me is this still water, not a wave to be seen. There's no waves. It's very still and calm. It almost feels like I am captured within an endless glass plate, and just my head is poking out, and it's very still and calm, right? And as I'm turning around, I'm just like, swimming around, making my circle. It's just all beautiful blue skies, tranquility, serenity. But I realize then and there, oh my God, there's no shore in sight. I am surrounded by water. What am I going to do? And I start panicking. And in that moment, this still endless plate of glass, beautiful still water, all of a sudden starts shifting, moving into huge waves. And when you're in the middle of the ocean, the waves are like mountains high. You just like go down and that wave is up there. So I kind of start looking in front of me. This wave starts elevating and the sky turns gray. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God. And I look down beneath me and there it is. The void, the complete absence of everything, a black hole, an endless pit of pure cold despair. And you look down and you're like, panic. And I wake up. This is a dream that often happens to me. Sometimes I have a log, like the log lady, very Twin Peaks, and I'm kind of holding on to the log. But in that particular dream, I wasn't. There was no log, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just the other night, I dreamt that my father came to visit me, my father who passed away in 2015. We were together in Walmart. The Walmart was huge. It was a labyrinth. I was trying to look for some toys. I found, because I love to collect my toys. Here's another little creature. Speaking of toys, we got a little My Pet Monster from the 80s, but remade in an action figure form. Could be kind of like a mare, a modern day version of a mare, right? I find an aisle with toys that are kind of toys I always wanted certain brands to make when it comes to, She-Ra, He-Man, Transformers, G.I. Joe, like really special editions from the 80s that I was like, oh my God, these are amazing. But something was missing, and I started to shift these toys from, by the way, I lost my dad. He's in some other aisle. And, but we have to hurry because they're about to close any minute. And I find that when I'm shifting these boxes of toys, I see that there is an opening behind one shelf. And I crawl through that opening and I kind of find myself behind the shelf of toys. And behind that shelf was a hidden, forgotten shelf with all the original toys from the 80s, the 60s, the 70s, and they were untouched. And I was like in awe, and I thought to myself, I gotta grab as many of these as possible and buy them. But of course I couldn't hold them all, so there's the first anxiety, like, how do I get these toys out? And then I hear the announcement, we're about to close, and then they call my name, like, Dacob, you have to leave. And I'm like, oh my God, how do they know I'm here? So I exit, and I'm trying to look for my dad. And my dad is sitting. Now, mind you, in this dream, I know that he's dead. And I know that he came back from the dead to visit me. I'm aware of it in the dream. And he's sitting in a spot. He's drunk. Now, my dad had problems with alcohol when he was alive, but he fought his whole life against it. And he managed to get to a really, really good spot in his life. A little too late, because he did ultimately pass away, because by the time he passed away, his kidneys were in a very, very bad state. But usually when I dream about him in my dreams, he's doing well. He's happy, he's clean, sober. He wasn't in this dream. he was back to drinking. And I was so upset. And I told him, like, why are you back to this? Like, and I told him, like, even after you passed away, you couldn't stop guzzling. So I had this whole issue about those same emotions running through me when I was a kid and he would be drunk, and I would think to myself, I got back those same emotions, the same exact feelings, the same vibes, and they were there in my dream, and I'm like, you're dead and you're still doing this. It felt so frustrating because I felt helpless and like I couldn't help him. So, and it was bizarre that lately, whenever I dreamt of my dad, everything was great. There was a dream a couple of weeks ago where he was a little bit sad, wasn't talking, he was a little bit depressed. But other than that, he would always be very chirpy, talkative, making jokes as he always did. And my mom would be in some of the dreams as well. But in that last dream I've had of him, last as in latest, as of now when I'm filming this video, he was drunk again. And that made me feel very uncomfortable. The next day I dreamt that my mother died. And that was a very simple, straightforward dream. It was just all of a sudden she was gone and I realized I'm all alone in this world. And that loneliness, it was just a void of emptiness, a lot of fear and anxiety, but it wasn't really a dream in which a movie was taking place. There's not much to say except it was a feeling. It was as if my soul was preparing itself for the inevitable, because we all gotta die sooner or later. So it's like, this is how it's gonna feel, bitch. So feel it. Might as well feel it now already. Get yourself ready for the future. Terrible, but it's a part of life. Debbie says, this sounds like one that will stick with you. Oh, thank you, Audrey. Sorry to hear that, Dacob. So, oh yes, Oli, unresolved feelings about our loved ones surface in our dreams. Now this is, I'm telling you, these are all dreams I cope with and deal with. These are the nightmares that are scary, but I understand where they come from, and I understand that they're a psychological thing. And so I'm fine with them. But this next nightmare, I believe, was not a nightmare. I think for the first time ever in my life, this next thing I'm going to tell you guys, I get chills just thinking about it. Okay, this next one happened just a week ago. And for the first time ever in my life, I feel like I have proof that it was not a dream. I feel like I really, really exited my body and traveled through time and space and actually got stuck in a parallel universe. Oh my God, it's so scary. It all began in a very comfortable, warm, early autumn afternoon. I was at a friend's house. It was in Pasadena. You know those warm rays of light when autumn is just very sunny, but it's like a golden hue. You feel that it's not summer sun, it's an autumn sun. So it's more warm, it's more brown, golden. And we were talking, but something was slightly off because her house is not the way I remember it. I mean, it's not the way it is in real life. It was just a little bit different. It was, it was her and her house, but not quite the same. Just a couple of inches more to the left or more to the right, tighter in some corners, more wide in other corners. But I kept thinking to myself, I must be wrong. I had it, in my mind, it was slightly different. But we haven't seen each other for a while because of, lockdown. Everybody had to be, isolating, social distancing. So I thought to myself, that's the reason. So we spent the day together, and it was going on and on and on, and it was nothing particular to note, but all of a sudden I'm like, okay, well now I need to go home. And then I wake up in my bed, and I stand up in my, I just like kind of kneel up. I just lift myself in my bed, and I'm like looking around my room. Everything is in slow motion, which makes it even more terrifying. And my bedroom is quite full of things. I like to surround myself with a lot of things that I love to see and to interact with, but they were all gone. And I stood up from my bed and I thought, gee, everything looks so clean. And I go to one corner of the room and I think to myself, wow, when did I clean this? This whole corner is clean. Well, this is great. And immediately, the hoarder that I am, I start thinking, great, I'm going to okay, good. When did I make all this space? Good that I have the space. I can install an extra, one of those like portable hangers on wheels, so I could have like the clothing that I like to use the most in that moment, and I could put them there and just have them really close to me so I could grab them before I go out, or if I need to film or something, take them out of the archives and put them here so I have them with. This is great. I have the space now. And I'm like looking, and I'm thinking, but this is a lot of things are missing. And I look around and I start thinking to myself, okay, well, where are my people? Where are my loved ones? Where's everybody? And this is my house. But something is off. So I exit the bedroom. I'm walking through the hallway, and the hallway is also empty. And I'm like, where did everybody go? And I'm telling you guys, silence. Like that silence where there is nothing there. And I go through the corridor into the living room. The windows, all of the curtains are open. And there's light filtering through. And I realize that this living room is a liminal space. I am caught inside of my own apartment, but it's a liminal space. It is, it is like dust particles in the air filtering through the light. And I'm just looking around and I think to myself, where are, in my dream, I have these, and I'm not dreaming. That's the thing. And this apartment looks like my apartment, but different. It's not the same, but it is the same. It's just, it's in a different parallel universe, and I turn around and I kind of look at the kitchen, and beyond the kitchen, there's another door. And I go through that door, and again, an empty room with just one bed, liminal space. We're talking beige colors, faded, muted colors, white and beige. And inside that bed, I see my boyfriend, like an ex-boyfriend. It's nobody I know. It feels like a boyfriend. It's like my boyfriend, and next to him is his lover. And I'm shocked. they're sleeping, okay? And I look at them and I'm like, and I go to this guy who in my head is my boyfriend, and I don't remember his name, but I remember shouting his name, and I shake him to wake up. He's not reacting. He is not reacting. He doesn't hear me. He doesn't see me. It's like he's dead. He's breathing, but he's not responsive. And then I turn to the guy next to him, who looks almost like his twin, which is so bizarre, slightly different. And I jump on top of this other guy and I start screaming at him to wake up. I was like, wake up, what are you doing here? You know, and I even knew his name, even his name I knew. And he was a little bit more responsive. Like he was like sleeping, and as I was literally using all the strength, energy, power I had in me to wake him up, okay? Slapping him, yelling, jumping. All I got from him, you know, he's like sleeping, and all I got from him was like opening his eyes a little bit like that and just like, I felt in that moment he is spiritually a little bit more awake than the guy next to him, but still not spiritually sensitive enough to actually feel me. And then it hit me, and then I like jumped off the bed, you know, and I'm like in the middle of this room in a panic attack because I am captured in this reality, which is a parallel universe. This is not, I felt it in that moment, you guys. I knew. I was like, this is not a dream. I am in this other place. It's the same world I'm in, but it's parallel. It's happening in another dimension. And I just got caught in it. And I'm caught in between, so nobody can see me. Nobody can hear me. I cannot exit this place. There's no food. There's no life source. I'm going to die. You know, that I started panicking, thinking, how do I get out of here? Like, how do I leave? And I started then running back to the living room. You know, it's the whole, from the living room through the hallway into the bedroom where I woke up, and it's still empty and everything is still and silent. There's no door to exit. I can't open the window. I can't jump out. I look down the window. It's a huge skyscraper. And these people are sleeping in that other bed, and nobody hears me. And I'm literally caught in another parallel universe, and I can't get home. I panicked so much, I woke up. This time I think for real. And I'm in my bed, and I look around, and the room is full. And I'm like, I cannot believe I just came back from this other place. It terrified me to a point that day I was so scared to fall asleep again, because I thought I got really lucky that I got out of there. Somehow, I don't know how, but somehow I managed to find a way to travel back into my own body and wake up and be in this reality. But that was another reality over there, and I was in it. And what if I go there again, and this time I can't come back anymore? It terrified me. Victoria says it's the silence that gets me. It's the silence that got me. And also the fact that, again, always when I have these type of dreams, there's always this, it's just before sunset. You know, there's that, you know, night is coming. You know, when darkness hits, something bad is going to happen. But right before that, you have that warm sun setting, and it's the end of something, and it's all super calm, tranquility. But inside of you, it's the opposite of calm and tranquility. And your whole surrounding, to tease you even more, shows you how everything is good, everything is great, everything is fantastic. But you know nothing is good. And as much as I was screaming to wake these people up to help me, they could not hear me. I did not exist for them. I was still in another universe. I was stuck. My body was in another universe, right? My spirit was in their universe, but they couldn't feel my spirit. Only the second guy could feel it a little bit because he was kind of opening his eyes, but he couldn't really feel me or see me. And I was locked, terrified that if I fell asleep again, this time I would not be able to come back. Jack says, do you think the guy you tried to wake up was the parallel version of you? No. Jack, Jack says this is insane. Yeah, no, the insane thing is it was the problem is this, you guys. In that parallel universe, I don't exist. So I wasn't trying to wake myself up. I literally traveled to this architectural setup that I'm in right now in real life, but in a parallel universe where I don't exist, where another version of reality exists. So I wasn't waking myself up. My body was still stuck in my universe, in my reality, but just my spirit went to that other parallel universe, and the spirit was almost, it felt like it was a couple degrees more than just spirit transferred into that other universe. Like I was starting to materialize over there. So I was not trying to wake myself up. I was literally asking these people for help because I knew something was terribly wrong. I knew that I don't exist there. My God, that's the scariest part. I knew that I don't exist there. I felt it. I felt like I don't exist here. Why am I here if I don't exist here? And the panic that I felt of being somewhere while not being there and being aware, being conscious of the fact that I'm not there, that I don't exist, that I don't belong there, I don't exist there, and yet still being there, that type of anxiety that caused inside of me, I never, ever in my life did I feel that. Terrifying. It terrified me because it felt complete. It felt total. It felt like this is it. This is hell. This is the torture you're going to bear for the rest of eternity, because your soul is going to be stuck here in this empty liminal space where nothing will ever change. It's an empty space with no noise, complete silence, no bathroom, no food. You are stuck in this aseptic emptiness. And you're stuck there, and you don't even belong in that plane of existence, in that parallel universe, and you don't even belong there. It took my breath away. It was that scary. Jorge says, maybe you were being the mayor for that other guy on top of him. Oh, that's a good point, Jorge. Yes, that could have been. I was maybe that demon in that moment. But then, would that mean that all a mayor is trying to do is actually wake you up to help it? Is that the purpose of the mayor? And mind you guys, just like Jorge here implied, this means that that other person really exists in some other universe, okay? And I got in touch with them. They maybe woke up in their reality thinking something was pressing on me. And the boyfriend next to that person, or the lover next to that person, had the same dream. How are they dealing with this right now? I was there by accident. And I was just trying to find help. But that was their reality. They lived there. They were at peace there. They were sleeping. And I saw only part for them, like in their existence, in their how they perceive reality. They probably, when they wake up in their house, what, in their house? Oh, we have no internet? Great. The internet is busted the house. Well, good that I'm paying way more internet now for this crap. Are we back? These fucking sirens also. I'm back. Good. Yes, I went to hell and back. I was just reading your comments while the internet was so bad. Sorry about that. I've heard stories about people that die and come back to life and said they went to hell and their first instinct is that they don't belong there, exactly like what you said, Victoria. And that's how I felt. I felt like that's hell. Like if I'm doomed to be here for the rest of it, this is hell. Okay, so this is my hell. This kind of having these two people in that bedroom, one of them being my boyfriend, who obviously has another lover, so they don't care about me. So there's like, they will never react to me. And everything else is empty. So nothing surrounding me that comforts me, because I am a huge materialist. I love beautiful objects. They comfort me. None of that is there. It's and absence of sound. I love sounds. I love to talk. I like to hear things. All of that is gone. It was hell, but it was real. It was real. And mild heart attacks is Oli Soto. I never felt so terrified in my life like I felt in that moment. And now every time I go to bed, I think before I fall asleep, I always have that thought in my mind, like, Dacob, you might not wake up. You know, I literally fear that. It's deeper than that. It's not fearing of not, because it's not about, oh, you'll never wake up again. I was there. I was not asleep anymore. My soul, my spirit, whatever it is, literally got catapulted into a parallel universe, and it was there. And I was aware, I was conscious of the fact that I'm no longer here. And not being able to come back home, that type of all-encompassing anxiety that you feel when you feel that, it's just, there's nothing worse. Nothing. I have never felt something more terrible in my life. Never. Jack says, well, if most people today aren't spiritually inclined, there are a hell of a lot of frightened, lost spirits trying to get someone to help. Halloween always brings the technological difficulties. Yes, Jack, it does. And that's the spirituality of it all. It felt like something worse than death, because death is, you're done. You're gone. You're done. It's done. It's over. This was like saying, you're forever, you will never be able to be done. You are forever locked in this space where you have no more control over your body. You're just a spiritual entity, and you will find no peace ever. And that was some nasty, nasty shit. Let me tell you. Somehow you need to ground yourself to this plane of existence, says Debbie. Yeah, I'm floating a lot lately. I can feel that what you're saying, says Lala. I can't describe the emotions, but I know them. Even just listening to you brings them up. It makes me anxious. Jesus says, I wouldn't mind living parallel lives. Well, no, you wouldn't be living, though. This isn't a parallel. This isn't me seeing myself in a parallel life. This is still me, the one me, but locked in a place where I cannot be me because the body is missing. Miss Mott says, when did this take place again in your life? Recently or a long time ago? When did this take place again? No, it took place once, last week. This happened to me last week, you guys. It happened last week. Victoria says, I think you went to hell, to your hell. Could be. But then, what does this mean? This means that our hell already exists while we're alive. We don't have to die to go to hell. Jesus says, we're falling asleep. I think you went, we're falling asleep is a passage to a parallel world. Yeah. Falling asleep is like a passage to a parallel world. Or, well, actually, I was already deep asleep, so. Jack Dean says, this is like the song Hope There's Someone by Anoni. Thank you for sharing. Oh, thanks, Jack. Yeah, that's the nightmare. This is the nightmare stream. Oh, I'm scared of the middle place between light and nowhere, says Jack. That's exactly where I was. Debbie says, yeah, I'm anxious too. I need a drink. Richard says, Hermes, I'm calling. Yes. So I'm telling you, it is a moment in time, and it was not my time. And it was not my universe. Even the air was, you guys, the light was different. The air was, it was like everything was just slightly off. It was not my existence. It was not my world. It was some parallel universe somewhere else where things are slightly different, where molecules are different, where everything is, you feel it. You feel that everything is terribly wrong, even though it's so peaceful and calm, which makes it even more dreadfully scary. That's basically it. That's this whole build-up, these 2 hours of live streaming with you guys is the build-up to this nightmare that I had, which I don't believe was a nightmare. I believe I have proof now emotionally. I can tell you emotionally, it's proof to me that this is beyond a nightmare. This was a trip. That it's not just the starseed child travel, the soul exiting the body and going on journeys through your past and other existences. This was more than that. This was like the soul left, but also a part of the body. Because I had no more connection to my body. There was no more me knowing that I'm dreaming. Like I said to you earlier, oh, I'm aware that I'm dreaming, so things are happening in a certain way, and this is the way it is. No, this was a complete acknowledgement of the fact that there is no return. And yet somehow I managed, I don't know, maybe because of sheer desperation, because I became so desperate that I somehow managed to return back. But I did. I'm here now. Or am I? Because now I'm also questioning myself, like, what is happening right now? where am I right now? I'm filming this, but kind of a part of me still feels like, you know how it feels actually, and this is the scary part, it feels like a part of me actually stayed there. And this is terrifying. Like, it feels like a little part of me is missing. A little part, but just enough to feel that, like, that whatever I lost, whatever I left hanging over there, I need to retrieve it. But how the hell do you retrieve it? Like what? You go back? No. That little bit needs to find its way back to me, because I don't know, and I don't know what part is there. You know, if I knew what was missing, I just feel something is missing, something is off. But if I knew what was there, which part is missing, then you could kind of rebuild it emotionally again. I mean, this is a whole other can of worms, but do you know what I mean? Super scary. Yeah. Marina says, I had something similar happen. What was terrifying was I kept being drawn back in for what seemed like hours. I couldn't get out till I did. Phew. Oof. Dacob is sharing his recent nightmares. Yes, I am. Richard says, maybe it was a deposit for when you die. I hope I don't go there when I die. The CC Spy says, 3 characters find themselves waiting in a mysterious room. It is a depiction of the afterlife in which 3 deceased characters are punished by being locked into a room together for eternity. Oh my God, Laura. The other 2 guys. I just woke up before them. They were also there by accident. I woke up in a bed. I found them still sleeping. So, if they woke up, they would have also not been able to communicate with me. But I saw them. They did not hear or feel me. So I don't know if once they woke up, if they would have seen me. I don't know. I felt very much like the others. Like I was there thinking to myself, you know, what gives, when in fact I was the ghost in that house. Jesus says, y'all, I jumped. Dorian Gray. Jack says, we spooked. Leave it there, Dacob, says Debbie. Leave it there. Don't go back for real, says Victoria. Pray! Or did you encounter a situation that maybe pushed you to subconsciously deal with internal stuff? There may be a reason this happened to you. Example, to see, learn, or uncover. For sure. I agree with you, Miss Maud. I just don't know what it is. Now, I actually can tell you, I have a suspicion. Oh, CC Spy? No Exit by Sartre? Yeah, Sartre. Yeah. Jack says, why didn't it fully happen? Not your time. Thank you, Tim. You like the hair? Maybe they are in your reality. I'm telling you, Debbie. It's like, thank you, Tim, by the way. It was a liminal space, you guys. Now, I have my theory. I have a... oh, did it freeze again? No. I have a theory that... okay, so I've been... historically speaking, you know what? Wait, who just said, did I acquire historically... hold on, let me scroll up again. Sorry, I'm just... because I'm so focused. Ah, Miss Maud. Listen. I think there's a point there, Miss Maud. And here I'm going to get to the reasons why I think... oh, wait, internet is slow again. It says we have poor internet. If you do want that part of you back, you could attempt a return to me ritual. Huh. A similar experience during childbirth with Max. I felt like my skin was on fire and I was falling down a dark, soundless tunnel and no one could hear me scream. I felt so alone. Oh my God, that's terrible. That's why Max is an only child, huh? Yeah, you didn't want to go through that again. I have an idea what the reason was. So, okay, internet is still poor. I don't know what to do. Should I keep talking? Can you guys hear me? This is so annoying because I pay so much for internet. I pay extra to get it extra fast and it still messes with me. Okay, it seems like it's okay. So what you were saying about did I acquire a historically important thing? Hey Aisha, welcome to the chats. You know, and here we get to also one of the reasons why the intro was that liminal space was because of this dream. It's not a dream, because of this weird parallel universe trip that I made. And the other reason why the intro was the way it was, Debbie kind of had a hunch because she posted before the live stream began. She says, oh my God, Brian Laundrie is going to pop up any minute. Debbie, we are all connected. This is all holistic. Let me tell you, the Gabby Petito case. Here we come to the historically relevant thing. I made a video on my main channel about Gabby Petito. May she rest in peace. And I said that an evil that big happened, that's beyond human evil. Something happened that night. Now they're saying could have been the 27th or the 28th of August, but there were owls in that creek and in those woods where she died. There was an evil presence there that, I mean, you could check out that video that I made and I explain my emotions about it, but it has been haunting me. It is a shift that has happened in the energy of our planet. Something evil is brewing, and it went off the charts that night. In those round about the 27th or the 28th of August, there has been something so terrible. And since then, not since then, since I was aware of her case, so in September, but let's say since 2.5 or 3 weeks now, I have been dealing with that case on a daily basis, obsessing about it. Not because, of course, I want him to be found. And of course, I want to find out what happened to her. And is he guilty? Is he not guilty? How much guilty is he? Whatever. That's not even the point for me. What I'm obsessing about is the emotion and the feeling of this evil. And I have been pushing boundaries these past 2.5 weeks. So when it comes to acquiring an important artifact or something historically relevant, I think I've tapped into that realization that something really evil took place. And I have not been in touch with that evil force, but I have been conscious of it. And I have been fine-tuning my conscience of it to a point where doors opened up in me. And I think that's why I'm having all of these erratic dreams and these journeys, because I feel almost like I am myself trying to find a path to whatever that evil is, to eradicate it. Because we have to do it, you guys. I'm telling you, something is going on right now. It ain't good. It ain't good. And listen, it doesn't take, I don't know, it doesn't take a politician. It doesn't take a scientist. It doesn't take a cleric. It doesn't take any church person, any religious person, nothing in particular to realize that something really bad is happening. And that's what I'm saying. Scientists, politicians, religious people, to put all that aside, just as human beings, when we really, really, really stop for a second to think about what is actually going on right now, you guys feel that something is terribly wrong. I know you do. I know you do. There you go. Debbie says it's bothering me too. Jesus says, oh wait, Tim, it's true though. Marine life is almost always the reason we have slow internet. The water? Jack says, I had a 17th century memento mori ring once with someone's hair inside it. I had to get rid of it. Very weird things began to happen. Wow. Jesus says, it takes one shark to bite an internet cord in the ocean and the internet gets super slow. Oh, so it's a shark thing now, is it? Cute. Was that Wendy Williams farting? No, it's the chair. It's all, it's a wooden chair, so it's very, you hear it? It's very wobbly. Oh, the squeaky door? Yeah, there's also a squeaky door. No, it's a sound effect that Bubbles plays from time to time. You have to protect your energy whenever you tap into the supernatural. Yes. Tim says the brain is amazing. Right? The brain is amazing. Cleansing, says Ollie. Yeah, it's cleansing, but also like this whole... This dude is missing, okay? This dude now, he doesn't even have... He's 23 years old. He's a kid. He's not a, he's not a to be so elusive, to evade the FBI and the police for such a long time, he's not a mastermind criminal. Something more is at play here. Some higher force is keeping him hidden, not human force. To keep him away. Overnight, he just got missing and disappeared, vanished from the face of the earth. Maybe he was one of the two guys in the bed. Did I go to a place where he's hiding? Jesus says, that's Wendy Williams saying, how you doing from a parallel universe? Victoria says, energy is real. We all know what's going on. We see each other. Right, Jack? Tim says, I certainly feel things. However, and don't hate me here, I'm not a believer in the supernatural. I am, however, a believer in the mystery of the mind or consciousness. I do know what you're saying, though. Oh, yeah, totally, Tim. You see, to me, what you just said, one thing doesn't exclude the other. And by this, I mean that, to me, the mind, so you believe in the mystery of the mind and the consciousness, right? But to me, the mind is supernatural. It just is, because what we manage to concoct in our mind has nothing to do with the fact that the brain is a chemical substance that science can explain as, materially speaking, a chemical thing, body, organic matter. I think our mind is a supernatural thing, because within it, we manage to produce thoughts and even stir up emotions that are supernatural, because there's no explaining them. There's no explaining them. There really is. Oli Soto says, Cooper, right? Carrie says, maybe he's dead by now. He might be. Jesus asks, maybe he took his own life. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, you guys, I don't know. We don't know what happened. Debbie says, no, he's alive somewhere. They were together for a long time, over 3 years, and they knew each other also from high school. It's not like he was beating her up on a daily basis. They lived at his parents' house in Florida. The parents saw them every day. I mean, it's not that he has this history of violence towards her. You know? We don't know what happened that night, but definitely something out of the norm happened. Victoria says, I don't know the case you're talking about. I'm talking about Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, which is kind of a very scary case, you know. She was 21, he's 23. They started traveling, you know, she bought a van and they wanted to travel all across America all summer, and she started filming a vlog, started a YouTube channel. They were just traveling, camping all over the place, and he just all of a sudden came back home without her in her van. And then her parents reported her missing, and then thanks to the internet, thanks to YouTube, some YouTubers were filming their own trip in the Grand Tetons, the Grand Teton Park, the Grand Teton Mountains, and they were like, wait a minute, we know that van. They filmed the van. And as they're approaching the van with their camera, the door of the van shut closed. And this was like the last day Gabby was alive, more or less, when they filmed it. So they found that video that they shot and they showed it to the feds. Thanks to that video from YouTube, the feds were capable of finding Gabby's body. So this whole case, and then, you know, Brian disappears after that. Nobody can find him. They're spending millions of taxpayers' money looking for him. They can't find him. I know, Ollie, not all violence is physical, but psychology did not kill her. A physical aggression killed her. Yeah, Jack, that's the point. How can you locate pure evil? Gary says, is it cold there like it is here? Maybe he slipped and bashed his head on a rock or froze. No, he was last seen in Florida. So, no, he's not in a cold place. He could have only slipped in a swamp and an alligator could have eaten him, but that's or a cougar, but that's about it. So how can you locate pure evil? It's the invisible mare thing again. Yeah, it's invisible. You cannot locate. And this is why I love Twin Peaks, David Lynch's Twin Peaks, so much, because he's constantly on this quest to find evil and eradicate it. And you cannot really capture it. But if you can localize it at least, then you know what you're dealing with, then it's easier to cope with it. And I think the problem is when you cannot localize the evil, you cannot focus on where it is exactly. That's the big problem. I hate ASMR says, oh, I have no doubt he was abusive behind closed doors. Maybe they both were. Maybe she just snapped for some reason. Maybe he just snapped for some reason. No, wait, sorry. I mixed up. So I hate ASMR says, you don't have to leave bruises to be abusive. I know, but she didn't die. Somebody physically had to kill her. You know, Gary says, maybe he was abusive. Maybe she was abusive. Maybe they both were. Maybe he's just snapped for some reason. Jesus says, people saw him assault her and called the police on him. He wouldn't truly know what happened until they find him, if ever. Well, there were 2 911 calls. One saw her being aggressive to him, and one reported him being aggressive to her. So there's that. That's also like hazy. Miss Moss says, I can empathize with your worry, fear you felt during your experience. I've read books on this and even sought help because of certain experiences that spooked me. I learned when your mind meets your soul, a new eye opens. Yeah, I completely agree with you. That's the thing. Mind meets soul, and boof, it's like the 3rd chakra, right? Hey, Desmar says, also, I'm not like this. Parents are going to come forward and say, yeah, our son was a real abusive piece of... No, I know they won't. Of course they won't. And they're probably defending him right now, you know, but don't forget, we also have Gabby's parents, and they also know him, and they love her daughter, and they didn't realize anything was going on in 3 years. So... yeah, the guy's on the run, Victoria. We think. Also, it's, yeah, We think just says, or maybe someone killed both of them. Well, not in the same spot because she was gone in the Grand Tetons, and he then drove back to Florida, and then he escaped. Allegedly, one night he just disappeared before the cops came to get him. So, killed? I don't know. Maybe some mob that was out to get him, like somebody recognized him and wanted justice done without federal justice, and then they did something to him, maybe, but I don't think that they would do that. I mean, Victoria says maybe he accidentally killed her. I mean, maybe she slipped. Maybe they were having an argument. I mean, they were in a rocky place. Maybe she slipped, fell, cracked her head open or something. He got scared and ran. You never know. But if they don't find him, they'll never know. And yes, Jesus, maybe the cops are involved. Many feds are psychos. Yes, that is also an option. It's a possibility. And that's why there are so many things that happened in those nights when they were there. Also in that area, other people were found dead that apparently lost their life the same roundabout when she also passed away. Some ladies that worked in this place where allegedly he went with Gabby to, and then that same night the two chicks passed away, were killed. And they were seen in that location where the two girls worked. So there's that whole other thing that might be connected or not. We don't know. Yes, Aisha, the other missing person was another guy. He was found while they were looking for... Oh, no. Okay, so they found another dead person in the Grand Tetons, and that guy, it was reported that he allegedly committed suicide. He did not want to live anymore. But they did find human remains in the place where, in the swamp area where they were looking for Brian. They did find something, but not his. I'm quite frankly quite surprised that they didn't find way more human remains. You know how many people go missing on a daily basis in America? And in Florida in particular, in the swampland there, it's so easy to dispose of a body. You want to get rid of somebody, you throw them in the swamp and they get eaten by alligators. But the fact that the cops had just found in 2 weeks of searching, that in that whole swampland, they only found one, remains of one body. I thought they were going to come back with 50 people, Debbie said he went home. You think he's hiding home again? I hate SMR says, gotta wonder what his end game is. Is he just going to hide in the woods forever? I don't know. If he really did something wrong, and if he's really that kind of... Some people also imply that he might have some mental disease or illness, and that he's upset and that he doesn't control himself. There's a lot of allegations and a lot of speculations, but if he really did do something to her, and if he's aware of it and not in denial about it, then he's probably in a very, very confusional, psychotic state, and also probably petrified, feeling guilty, terrified. I mean, who knows what's running through his head now, you guys, if he's still alive. Jack says, oh, I didn't know about the other two people. Yep, there are two more girls. Yeah, Katie, right? I also thought they would find more. And now we're at this point where every day we're waiting for some news. But what saddens me, it's I'm thinking, okay, well, what news are we waiting for? What? We just want to hear that they found him and that he told his version of the story and justice was served. That's not enough. That's not what I'm waiting for. But I know that what I'm waiting for is never going to happen, because I have this illusion that once this case is solved, evil is gone. But evil is never going to be gone. But I'm living in this illusion that this case will help solve the riddle of how to get rid of evil. But the sister is very interesting, Katie, yeah. Gary says, bodies sink and decompose quite quickly in water, if not eaten already. Right, but they would find bones. Bones don't decompose in 2 weeks, you guys. Yeah, Victoria, there's too many snakes and alligators in Florida. swamp. Explains no remains, but they would find bones. Well, I mean, sure, the alligator just swallows you whole and then the bones are inside the alligator, I guess. I mean, but then if, I don't know, if they break you, if they chew you, break you up, and maybe one bone of yours is kind of left somewhere. I don't know. Oh my God, Audrey, the swamp is huge. What's the name of the park that he went to? That he allegedly went to? The Grand Carlton Reserve, I think it's called. So you could look it up. It's enormous. It's enormous. Oh yeah, Gary, other bodies. Yeah. Bones would be buried. Bones would be buried, but silt. What do you mean silt? They would. Oh, suddenly I'm queasy, says Maria. I'm telling you, that's why my hair turned white for a reason. It's just so. It's been a tough 2-3 weeks. The swamp is not a good place to hide. I mean, the humidity alone will get you. Like, and then at night, what are you gonna do at night? Cougars can come get you, panthers, and they attack from the trees. They grab you from above and they drag you up. So you got something gonna eat you from the tree. The alligator gonna eat you from the land. You got snakes everywhere. You got boars, and they're super aggressive when they got little babies. They could like cut through you. Well, Victoria, snakes can swallow you whole if they're big enough, obviously. I haven't seen that big a python in Florida, but I'm sure they have really, but that's more like in the Amazons, you get those like ginormous anacondas and pythons. But wild turkeys are running amok all over Florida, you guys. And you might think, oh, funny, cute, turkey, cute. Have you seen a wild turkey? They look like vultures. They are so aggressive. They are quite big, very territorial. They look like dinosaurs. When they come for you, you're done for. If a horde of wild turkeys decides that you're the enemy, you're done. Wild turkeys are dangerous. Katie, of course, maybe they have a family hiding spot, right? Yeah, the Everglades. It's not the Everglades, but it's another thing. The Grand Carlton Resort. Right, Gary? No, of course you've never disposed of bones. The insect's gonna eat you inch by inch, says Jack. Yeah, the insects alone, you guys. Swamp territory with that humidity and heat. The mosquitoes alone are going to eat you up alive. You can imagine if you're sleeping in a swamp every night, how the mosquito situation is. You can just imagine. So he's missing. And the body's not there. They haven't found a body. Audrey says it is 99.41 kilometers squared. That's huge, Audrey. Square kilometers. Jesus says, even huge anacondas cannot swallow humans whole. In fact, they never attack humans. KDF says, horrible. Mimi says, no chance. Audrey says, oh, wow. It's nearly 39 miles. It's huge. Yeah, it's huge. And then there's like foresty areas, watery areas, swampland where you could walk through. The water's up to your knees or even deeper. You just fall into a pit. It's like super dangerous. But he could be anywhere. He doesn't have to be there. That's where they planted the car to make it look like he was there, or allegedly. I mean, the car was found there parked, so the police thought, okay, well, he parked the car at the Carlton Reserve and went into it and then disappeared. But then there's speculation now that the parents planted the car there to make the police think that he's there, but that he's not there, that he might be somewhere else. So there's that whole speculation. And then Dog, the bounty hunter, jumped in and had a whole other theory that he was in another location where they kept. And also, you know, you don't come after your girlfriend dies, you drive back to Florida, and then the first thing you do is you go camping with your parents. And this is where they allegedly planned out his escape. And then after camping, they went back home. Then he took the car and then he left again, and then he disappeared, and then she was proclaimed missing, and then the cops find her body. So it's like, and he went camping with his mom, his dad, his sister's children, like right after he came back to Florida. Couple of days after he came back to Florida with the van of his girlfriend, who is now missing, well, who was back then missing. Chill. Let's go camping with the family. I mean, unless he didn't tell them what went down and they were like, okay, let's go away from home. Let's plan out what we're going to do to save you, to protect you. Because otherwise you go enjoy life like nothing happened. Guys, I mean, it's insane. This story is insane. Very haunting, Katie. Yeah, very haunting. That dude is totally on the run, says Victoria. Yeah, Katie, some people believe he's in a hole under the parents' garden. I don't believe that, says Katie. I mean, so people have been speculating about that, and then other people who live in Florida have been counter-speculating, saying, well, you don't know the moss, the pit land, the water underneath the soil in Florida. That neighborhood is not a rich neighborhood, meaning the millions you need to invest to build a bunker, a bomb bunker, something that is waterproof. In Florida, nobody has that unless you're not a billionaire. Because it would just keep flooding. Because there's water running, there's water springs of water everywhere in Florida. So the second you start digging the ground, you're going to encounter what? Or coral. But then there's water. It's swamp, coral, and water. So digging under the houses to build a bunker, you're just going to drown. You're just going to have water flowing in. So Florida is very complicated. It's flooding more and more, and it's deteriorating with time. So no, I don't personally think that there is a bunker under the house in Florida where they are, because it would be flooded. So haunting. Frozen Luxury, how you doing, Saya? The latest rumor on TikTok is he's hiding in a bunker under the family garden. Okay, but there's a video of a hand giving his mom a note coming out of the garden. Yes, I've seen that video. It's spooky because you do see something popping out from the ground. But yeah, guys, it was Freddy. It was Freddy. My boy. Was it you, Freddy? Did your little hand pop out from the garden? He's like, yeah, it was you. Yeah. So yeah, same. Surprised he didn't run off to Alaska. This used to be the place fugitives went, says Debbie. Another piece of the puzzle. Audrey says, a British saying we have here, like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Yeah, that's same expression here. Oh yeah, Debbie said it. Yeah, it's the same thing in the States. Audrey says, if you have spent the last how many months backpacking, why on earth would you suggest going camping with the whole family? So odd. Because they're a family of campers, apparently. That's how they deal with all their issues in their life. They just go camping. You know, I eat a pizza, get drunk, gain 3 pounds, and call it a day. Okay? That's how I deal with stress. I don't go camping. Yeah. Donnie says, please let us not get our news from TikTok. Donnie, welcome to the tragedy that is 2021, where TikTok is the truth. Not me getting scared by the mask. LVO says Jesus. Yeah, it's a scary one, though, also because the light is so scary, because he gets all these shadows. I mean, and this is like a cheaper Freddy Krueger mask. There are much better ones out there, obviously, but I kind of love the cheapness of it. It kind of gives me 80s silicone or latex mask vibes. So I really like this cheaper version of Freddy. Very 80s. And it looks very much like him. Paint job could have been better, but... Frozen Luxury, debunking the bunker theory and the fashion bunker. Yes. Right? Yeah, pizza and beer. I'm telling you, Silal, that's how I get stress. You eat, you drink, you gain some weight, you deal with it. What did Jesus? Oh my God, Bubbles is on the tag. Bubbles said you're using foul language, Jesus. Oh, cheeky. Wait, let me. You see, I got my little serial killers here, right? And they know they have their version of the story too. You know, they have their dreams as well. But oh, Jesus says TikTok can be very informative and fun, though. It's not all horny teenagers. Okay, so that's what Bubbles took away. Bubbles, like, you gotta like tone it down, Bubbles. We're a family of campers. Why am I laughing so hard, says Audrey. Ah, there you go. Bubbles' first punishment, right? That was the first Bubble punishment. Stop it, Bubbles, says Gary. How cute. So I'm telling ya, there's something more happening, you guys. Something more is happening out there. I don't know what that means, so. Ah! Bubbles! Let me do a, right. Thumbnail. I gotta turn Chucky to the camera. It's always hard to get him to pose, right? Ooh, they're coming in close to me. Hold on. Okay, we got a little thumb. Oh, I also have the skull. This is more Shakespearean, maybe. Okay, Chucky. Let me do the skull. I got it's very Dumbala. Oh my God, I gotta stand up for merch. Hold on. Little thumbnail moment here, you guys. Bear with me. Ooh, 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 ooh. Alrighty. Chucky! Oh my God, he's like not having it today. You know, he's really heavy. You've been eating. He has his little chicken nuggets here. Wait, let me do one just with me. With the creepy hair. Okay. Done with that. So, Daddy Shakespeare, right? To be or not to be. Jack the Ripper, how on earth did he get away with it? They caught him eventually, Jack the Ripper, didn't they? Yeah, she irritates us. Bubbles, yeah. Bubbles ain't getting away. Poor Bubbles, right? Alas, poor Bubbles. Yeah, Bubbles has her moments. But anyway, that's basically, that was the moment, that was our first kind of dreadful, we went through this journey through nightmares and galore. Etymology, where it comes from, what it means, the demonic aspect of it, the depiction of it, how it looks like. And then we went to actually talking about the actual dreams. And even further on, we went to traveling, which is beyond the dream, like a dream beyond a dream. And then all kind of ended with this kind of sadness of somebody losing their life. And that's kind of the biggest hell I feel is when somebody decides for you, no, now it's over, you know, and then you lose your life. They never caught Jack the Ripper. They never did, huh? Did I ever watch Westworld? They've been filming season 4 in New York City. No, I have not. Some sort of dance musical episode, très obscure. No, I have not. Richard says, I'm taking you in the shower. Oh, Rich Mitch, how very naughty of you. Aisha says, I have literally been watching a documentary about Jack the Ripper tonight. They found a diary that he wrote. It's on Amazon Prime. Very interesting. But is it really his? Or did somebody write it like as if it were his? I mean, what did he call it? I'm Jack the Ripper and these are my memoirs. Like, they didn't catch him in his lifetime, huh? Huh. They never caught him, Dacob. And to think, you know, London was relatively tiny, you know, and to think you can't catch a person there. I mean, times were different. There were no CCTV cameras back then, now were there? But they think it was the guy who wrote the diary, so kinda caught, says Aisha. Ah, I see. So the guy didn't say who he was. But didn't they say, like, Jack the Ripper was somebody influential, so he had really protection because he came from a powerful, influential political family of sorts, or medical, or whatever? It was the guy who wrote the diary. I'm going to take this talk with me. What do you mean, Debbie? What talk? Lily Bonfi, how's it going, sweetie? Can I go to Rich? Lily wants to take a shower with Rich. Just identified the Zodiac Killer, apparently. The Zodiac Killer, yeah. If you watch it, it seems to be his, says Aisha. Interesting. And how come that diary never got destroyed? People write diaries only if they come from influential families, really. Back in that time, who has the time to write a diary? And then to not destroy it, and then to have somebody find it, just like that, and to have that somebody who found it also not throw it away? For a diary like that to survive all those years, how is that possible? There you go. Jack, as Rich Mitch says, Jack the Ripper was allegedly the Queen's surgeon. Aisha, I will watch it. I'm really fascinated by Jack the Ripper, so I'm going to definitely watch the documentary that you saw on YouTube. You said you saw it, right? Debbie says, oh, it was a cop. Oh, a surgeon, Debbie said. Yeah, Jack says, now we have CCTV literally everywhere. See, Lala says, I have to go, but love this. Hope we have a few more before Halloween. Yes, see, Lala. Next week, be sure to tune in to the next episode of our countdown to Halloween. It's going to be a different topic. Now that we have enter the realm of dreams and nightmares, and we have confronted our nightmares. We have surpassed the mare, and we are now entering the realm of the dead. So, So I'm still figuring out how to do videos, you know, because I still don't have a new computer. It might be a bit shaky, but we might be doing costumes. So if I do manage to figure out calling in with video, you might dress up, you guys, and then you just pop up on video here, and then we get to talk. That would be interesting. Gary says, surgeon makes sense with how he mutilated his victims. Aisha says, it was under the floorboards in his old house. Yeah, but how do they know it was his house if they never found him? If they never caught him, how do they know that he lived there? The killer had access to a carriage. Only a person with money could afford to move across Whitechapel so easily. Jack says, if he got to the end of his life without being caught, he probably wanted the next generation to know. Debbie says, all these topics spoken about today will not leave my mind, which means I'll be meditating on it all. You'll be marinating on it all. And ego memorabilia, says Jack. Richmond says, serial killers always want the credit for their crimes. Well, they're most of them, you know, big egos, so they want the world to admire them, to be like, wow, they did that. What strength of character. Not looking forward to see your costumes if we manage to work out the camera. So I've gone all white-haired from the scare of the nightmare. That was the kind of the idea for this look, and also to be me but not really me. You know, I am my cousin, and that's because of that dream that was not a dream that I had. So that's also the reason for this hair. So I will announce if the camera works, so don't prepare your costumes or dressing up just yet. I'll let you know ahead of time if it's going to work or not with the dressing up, but there are topics definitely planned as we count down to Halloween. As I said, the nightmare topic is now done. We are in the realm of the dead, and now we're going to see all these little spirits and see what happened and how it all went down. So, you know, get your cozy Super Dacob Halloween merch to wear while we go on these journeys. And next week, I shall reveal the topic soon. Oh, Jesus says the video is also on YouTube, because Aisha said it's Prime. The Diary of Jack the Ripper, if anyone wants to watch, says Aisha. Yes, I do. Jesus, she did what? That, Henny. She did that, Henny. Why are her costumes just it's also on YouTube. All right, yeah. Aisha says, oh, okay, okay. Have you seen it? Hashtag Jacob. Fakeob. I definitely will. I'm going to watch it too. Oh my God, so if it's on YouTube... Wait a minute, can we watch it together? Is that something we can watch together? If it's on YouTube? I mean, I'm not monetized anyway. This channel is too small for now. But technically we could. Audrey says, if you guys have not watched Midhunter on Netflix by David Fincher, I cannot recommend it enough. It is a masterpiece. David Fincher, oof. You know, he knows his thriller and horror. He knows his thriller and horror. Oh, we can discuss, says Aisha. Yes. I mean, I would have to figure it out. And also, I mean, this is like if we're going to watch the whole video that's on YouTube. Like if that whole documentary is on YouTube, I'm sure we could do it. We would probably get copyright claimed. But as long as they don't take the video down, we would be fine because we're not monetized yet anyway. But it would be kind of fun while the channel is still so small and not monetized to actually do these sort of experiments. I just don't know if they would strike us. That's the thing I have to figure out. But new Paranormal Activity trailer is out. You know. Paranormal Activity. I mean, it's not like the new Paranormal Activities. The first one was amazing, and then the other ones are like whatever. But the trailer is out for the new Paranormal Activity. That's also something one could watch together. Fascinating stream, Dacob. Thank you, Debbie. Yeah, I'm approaching Halloween from a more spiritual, last year we had our Halloween. It was more like innocent fun. The aesthetic, with the pumpkin, everything was a little bit more 60s. The classiness. Do I have here? No, I don't have my video. Which I'm actually going to watch again. Where is it? I want to watch. Oof. By the way, today's perfume is actually not Coromandel. Today's perfume is Le Lion de Chanel. I is obsessed with it. Now the weather is just right for Le Lion de Chanel. Just letting you guys. Here it is. A Mad Monster Party. Like, this was kind of the inspiration for the Halloween live streams of last year. I love this. This is from the 60s. So it was this type of Halloween, Scooby-Doo, poppy colors. That's why the merch that I created last year with the pumpkin, it was all psychedelic, the color, This year, I'm feeling more gothic, serious Halloween. Sure, the hair is a joke, but you know what I mean? Like, the aesthetic here, it's all much more serious, and the topics are more centered, and you feel that there's a different approach to Halloween than we had last year, which I'm enjoying. I have not. CC Spy, have you read The Halloween Tree by Bradbury? No, I have not. Robert says, my nightmare was trying out Black Opiums by Yves Saint Laurent. Oh my God, that is a nightmare. Oof. You were trying out Black Opium and all the flankers? That perfume is bad. I mean, the coffee note is not bad in it, but Jesus says, it was uploaded 8 years ago. I don't know if it's the same thing. Would you please check it out and see if the same thing? Aisha says, I've not watched it. Audrey, I'll add it to my list. Oh no, but that's another thing. Let me check, Emilio, says Audrey. Robert says, worst nightmare is trying out the Opium Blacks. Just says, Le Lion is so similar to Shalimar Pure Perfume. It's honestly amazing to me that Guerlain is not suing them. Chanel is not suing them for Liu. And it smells just like number 5. Jack says, I love Mad Monster Party. It's amazing, right? I bought that DVD based on your recommendation last year. Isn't it amazing, Jack? I'm so glad you got it. The orange color on the inside. This is a beautiful movie. Such a strange ending. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but Mad Monster Party is just a little masterpiece, really, of 60s horror. And it's just crawl, fly, slither, and slink to the underground party of the year. The Rankin Bass classic, digitally restored. With Phyllis Diller. Amazing. That's on YouTube, Dacob. What? What's on YouTube? This one is on YouTube? No, it's not. It wasn't last year. I have rewatched your old Halloween streams from last year, Dacob. Oh, the review of Cristal is a masterpiece. So beautiful. Thank you so much, Audrey. Aisha says, yes, it's the same on YouTube. And the name of the channel is Otto von Bismarck. That's the channel name? Wow. Thanks, Aisha. Definitely going to watch it. Yeah, I'm going to watch it too. So I don't know if they would strike me for watching that here. Like, if we kind of just stream it here and we watch it together. I don't know if they would strike me, but if they would strike me, then I would never get monetized. So I got to be very careful. And interesting that I reviewed Cristal last year. That is true. During the Halloween streams. And in fact, but last year we had only the one channel, so we were streaming everything there, right? And that's actually where the live streams began. So we are 1 year in. It's official that we're live streaming. Although I had a break in November, so from December on, it was like nonstop every Saturday live streaming. But I can tell you this now. Hold on, let me get it. There will be in this Saturday's live stream, if there's enough time for it, a perfume that is kind of connected to Halloween. in terms of its name. I want to review Spell on You, like Put a Spell on You by Louis Vuitton. I got this sample when I got the Speedy. So I thought, oh, that's an interesting one. It's something that's called Spell on You, like Put a Spell on You. It's kind of like a witch would review Spell on You perfume. So that's going to be our little Easter egg moment. Hopefully this Saturday for the live stream. I'm going to review that one. But let's see. Mad Monster Party, I watched it on YouTube. Oh, Debbie, really? I didn't see it on YouTube, but also on YouTube. Is it available in its full length on YouTube? Because when I ordered this, it was not on YouTube yet. So maybe now they put it on YouTube. Robert says, I had a dream with Pete Burns in it after hearing the news about the Fan the Flame Part 2. Oh, that's amazing. What, was it a good dream? I'm so happy Fan the Flame is coming out, Part 2. That's just... I pre-ordered it already. It's basically an album that Pete Burns from Dead or Alive were supposed to make in the 90s, but they never released it. And now it's coming out in 2021. Like 30 years later. Isn't that amazing? I'm so looking forward to it. Super excited about it. Yeah. But it's not out yet. Just 2 songs are. Well, it's Louis Vuitton, so not expecting much. Yeah, I know. Louis does great titles, but... Let's see. Cactus Garden was really good. Oh, really, Jesus? You got post-vax migraine? Pounding sharp pain, child. Ooh, that's bad. You just got your second one? Yeah, I was all a mess after the second one. It's still kind of a mess, but it's okay-ish. But, yeah. Oh, full length, huh, Debbie? Yeah, 91 minutes. Oh, you don't remember the dream, Robert? But you remember that you dreamt Pete Burns. A week ago. You got it a week ago? Yeah, it's going to take... Eat bananas, I'm telling ya. Bananas saved me. I don't know. I just felt like they really helped. You know all the Disney YouTubers that go to Disneyland, like they film everything, that, well, they say allegedly that they're fully vaccinated. They're all getting sick now. They're all getting Miss Rona, even though they're like fully vaccinated. We don't know if they are. Could be all just stunts. I don't believe a word they say. Yeah, sleep a lot, drink a lot of water, Emilio, and of course, get a painkiller if you need to, honestly, because if it's... Yeah, eat well and then take a painkiller. I mean, I know migraines, painkillers don't help, but bananas. Boy, did they help me through this. Bananas really helped me. I will forever be grateful to bananas. Oh, Gary, you're having your second one next week. Stock up on banana. Well, no, buy them next week. They're not going to be, if you buy them now, by the time next week kicks in, they're not going to be fresh anymore. Many people lie they're vaxxed, but they're not. I know, right? So that's why, like, when they make their videos, like, oh my God, I was like fully vaccinated and I got sick anyway. And then I'm like, yeah, maybe, because there are cases of people who are fully vaccinated who do get sick anyway. They get a much lower, well, you never know. You could get even a bad case, but yeah. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this stream, you guys. Oh, good. Banana, your favorite fruit. It was such a lovely stream. It felt very intimate with you discussing your subconsciousness. Thank you so much, Audrey. You guys, I hope you've enjoyed the live stream, our nightmares together, and I hope you're all going to join me for the next spooky, ghoulish live stream next week. Only here on Totally Dacob. The first live stream went really well. I'm masked to the gods, says Debbie. Good for you. Loved it. Thank you, says Katie. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and for coming to the new channel, for subscribing to the new channel. You know, it's a baby. It still needs to grow. Yeah, they're still green when you get them from the store, Gary. Yeah, that's true. They take a while, don't they? Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Nicole, Jack, Aisha, Donnie, Robert, Debbie, Kate. And also, round of applause to our mods, our newly added mods to the new channel, Debbie, Jack, Gary, and Audrey. Thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you guys so much. And thank you, everybody, for commenting and talking about your dreams as well. When are we getting dressed up, says Aisha? Well, I mean, next week, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, if I manage to sort out the camera situation with video. But I'll let you guys know, because we might not be able to share video. Thank you guys so much. It was wonderful. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Robert. Big heart to you too, guys. Freddie says, sweet dreams until next Saturday main channel live stream, and until next week, totally Dacob, a Halloween live stream. Sweet dreams, everybody. Never give up on love. Bye. Mwah.
It'll be at with 5116 for a minute.
Yeah, Northport CSA 1. Just signal 14, holding a VIN verification when you clear.
26.
No, smash bed 105, 1065 and 22 family.
51.
818 Gant Road, across Palmer. Caller remain vulnerable. Subject staying on the caller's bedroom door.
Set 11, go ahead.
41 and Ortega, Florida 28, 917 Queen, Robert 917 UTR.
Temple.
And 19 Living, 1074.
Temple.
Dispatch.
4163.
Heading from Riverview 51 west to SMH with 1044.
Cover.
Northport, set 11.
Good.
28 comes back to a red Hyundai. Is that 10-4?
Yeah, I think that's
10-4.
Florida, April 18, Frank, Robert John, just south of Macintosh Weber.
Macintosh Weber.
That's on 114, show me how set 11, please.
10-4. 260, 1074.
10-4. CSA 1 northbound.
Go ahead.
And the cell number of the bike and notes advised, please.
Dispatch 5116, 5601, 1074.
10-4. This AAA 51 dispatch, and she wants some traffic protection.
Tower.
Dispatch 5107, 1074.
Yes, sir. I wasn't for you.
10-4.
Dispatch 5105 is signal 14 and advising the 1017 does have a shotgun in the van, not involved or mentioned.
46.
Center Fargo, 10-4.
Dispatch, I'll be clearing your ID 1094, 5105.
Tower 5104.
5106.
Northport 1, William 12, 1074.
6, are you continuing in?
Northport 1, William 12, 1074.
1074.
So I'm going to get another 94 unit, 1074 just routine.
Tougher any unit in the area of Macintosh and Weber for 94 for 5107.
5110, the original tunnel.
And Tower 5110. How far?
ID 876 dispatch.
ID 876.
I'm at Weber and Amanda. What's the location of the unit at Weber and McIntosh?
Somewhere around 1050, just south of Weber and McIntosh.
46.
Motor 10, 10-4, 10-6.
Come right down.
SRO 11 on 4.
SRO 11.
There a unit in the area of Toledo Blade and Plantation.
Car 12. Be there in a minute.
So 11, car 12. Getting information that one of the students here jumped the fence and ran towards that gas station. Is there any way you can check that gas station?
Time for about 2 minutes out.
Copy, thank you.
Northport SRO 11, you need me to pull a 22J?
Please, I'm 1074.
Cancel.
Dispatch 5505, 1074. 26. Dispatch 5105, units on Gant, 1074.
10-4, 10-6.
10-4. Northport, whatever, 10.
Whenever, 12 Nova.
Go ahead.
If it's in reference to a call holding, we will be clearing her momentarily.
10-4, with a signal 12 called in at Price in Toledo. The truck is currently in the parking lot at Public.
10-4.